Welcome to this session on the Central Civil Services Pension Rules. We will go over the key aspects of pension eligibility, types of pensions, and related benefits for government employees under these rules. Qualifying service refers to any service that counts towards pension and gratuity eligibility. This includes time served while on duty or on approved leave. For defense services, it includes civilian positions under the Ministry of Defense, provided they aren't governed by separate Armed Forces Acts. Dearness relief, or DR, is provided to pensioners to help offset the cost of living increases. It is calculated based on the original pension amount without deducting any commuted portion. The rate is the same as dearness allowance for active employees. The Central Civil Services Pension rules apply to government employees appointed on or before 31st December 2003. This includes those placed on induction training by this date and later appointed on a regular basis. Employees recruited after 1st January 2004 are generally under the National Pension System but can opt for CCS pension rules if their post was advertised before 22nd December 2003. There are several types of pensions. Superannuation pension is granted to one who retires on attaining the age of superannuation. Retiring pension is granted to a government servant who retires, or is retired before attaining the age of superannuation or who, on being declared surplus opts for voluntary retirement. Voluntary retirement pension. Any government servant can apply for voluntary retirement 3 months in advance, only after the completion of 20 years of his qualifying service, provided there is no vigilance or departmental inquiry pending initiated against him/her. Invalid pension is granted to those who retire due to permanent health issues, supported by a medical report. Compensation pension is available when an employee is discharged due to the abolition of their post, and compulsory retirement pension is awarded as a penalty under specific circumstances, with a minimum pension of 9,000 rupee per month. Compassionate allowance applies to dismissed or removed government servants. Forfeiture of pension and gratuity occurs upon dismissal removal, and the competent authority may grant compassionate allowance in deserving cases and the allowance limited to 2/3 of pension or gratuity, or both, that would have been admissible for compensation pension. Minimum compassionate allowance, 9,000 rupees per month. Extraordinary pension is provided as disability pension or extraordinary family pension and is applicable when disablement, death, or aggravation thereof, is attributed to government service. It requires causal connection between disablement, death, and government service. Quantum of pension depends on the category of disablement, death. Extraordinary pension has two components, one is the service component and another is disability component. Following services are considered as part of qualifying service: service in state governments, if joined on or before 31st December 2003. Service in autonomous bodies, if joined on or before 31st December 2003. Counting of service on probation, upon confirmation. Counting of service on contract, if appointed to same or another post on or before 31st December 2003 without interruption. Counting of pre-retirement civil service in the case of re-employed government servants, if re-employed on or before 31st December 2003 and refunds pension drawn, commutation and gratuity. Counting of military service rendered before civil employment, if re-employed on or before 31st December 2003 and refunds pension drawn, commutation and gratuity. Counting of periods spent on leave, where leave salary is payable, EOL on medical grounds. Counting of periods spent on training. Counting of periods of suspension, if fully exonerated only minor penalty imposed and suspension is held wholly unjustified, order needs to be passed. Qualifying service excludes certain periods, such as service rendered before age 18, apprentice service, except SAS apprentice, leave without a medical certificate, time marked as dies non, and suspensions following major penalties, unless specified otherwise. Future good conduct is a condition for continued pension eligibility. If a pensioner is found guilty of severe misconduct or convicted of a crime, the appointing authority has the right to withhold or withdraw part or all of their pension. Group A. Pensioners must seek prior approval from the government for any commercial employment within a year of retirement. For retirement gratuity, employees need a minimum of 5 years of qualifying service. The gratuity amount is calculated as 1/4 of the emoluments for each 6-month period, up to a limit of 16.5 times the emoluments, with a maximum cap of 25 lakh rupees. If an employee passes away during service, their dependents are entitled to a death gratuity. This amount supports the family in their time of need, reflecting the years of service the employee provided. Eligibility for pension begins after 10 years of qualifying service. The pension is calculated as 50% of the employee's emoluments or average emoluments, whichever is higher, with a minimum pension of 9,000 rupees and a maximum of 1,25,000 rupee per month. For invalid pension under Rule 39, the 10-year requirement is waived. In cases where an employee retires but is ineligible for a pension, a service gratuity is provided. T is calculated as half a month's emoluments for every 6 months of service, ensuring some level of financial support. In case of compulsory retirement with qualifying service is greater than 10 years, to 3 RDS to full superannuation pension and full superannuation gratuity is granted. In case of less than 10 years of qualifying service, only to 3 RDS to full superannuation gratuity. In case of dismissal removal from service with qualifying service more than 10 years, minimum pension up to 3 RDS of superannuation pension. Whereas in case of less than 10 years of qualifying service, up to 3 RDS of superannuation gratuity. Government retirees aged 80 years or older receive an additional pension or compassionate allowance, in addition to their regular pension. This extra benefit supports older retirees in managing age-related expenses. Pensioners can commute a portion of their pension into a lump sum payment. Up to 40% of the monthly pension can be commuted. Those who retired on superannuation can commute without a medical examination if they apply within a year of retirement. For others, a medical checkup is required. Family pension is provided to the dependents of a deceased employee or pensioner. Family members eligible for this benefit include the spouse, children up to age 25, dependent parents, and siblings or children with disabilities, offering them financial stability. If a deceased employee leaves behind a childless widow, she can continue receiving family pension upon remarriage, provided her income from other sources is below the minimum family pension amount. This rule provides security to surviving spouses without other support. Family pension is set at 30% of the employee's pay, with a minimum of 9,000 rupees and a maximum of 75,000 rupee per month. If an employee dies in service, the family receives a higher pension, equivalent to 50% of pay, for 10 years. For post-retirement deaths, family pension is available for 7 years or until the employee would have turned 67, whichever is earlier. In addition to regular family pension, an extra family pension amount is added once the beneficiary turns 80. This provision ensures continued financial support for elderly dependents. Thank you for your attention. We hope this session has clarified the core aspects of the Central Civil Services, pension, rules and the benefits available to government employees and their families.